No. Spirituality does not mean that everything is done by God. No, not at all. I'll tell you. We are made up of both body, spirit and matter. Correct? Matter is all amino acid, carbohydrate, protein. Our body is made up of that. But your consciousness, spirit is made up of what? All that cannot be measured. Love, beauty, truth. Correct? Energy, intelligence. This is all, it's not matter. It's all part of your consciousness. And like meditation, pranayam, breathing, self-inquiry, learning to know who you are, all this comes under spirituality. You can do only in the present. Anything can be done only in the present, isn't it? How can you do anything in the past? Can you do anything in the future? Even if you are miserable, when can you be miserable? Are you with me? Present moment is the time which anything can be done. You can be stuck with the memory of the past or can be free from the memory of the past. Yeah? I only create leaders. Every leader creates more followers and they in turn create leaders. It's not a leader creating only followers, it's a leader creating leaders. It's a chain of leaders that are being created. What is the difference between a leader and a follower? Just let me put an emphasis on that. A leader is one who takes total responsibility. A follower is one who thinks someone else will do the job and gives the responsibility to somebody else, right? No, in our organization it doesn't work that way. Everyone is taught how to take responsibility and leadership. Problem is lack of leadership. Yes, I agree with you. I think, for every discipline there is an institute. But no such thing exists in the field of politics. We should have an institute of politics wherein some training is given, how to conduct, manage and how to care for the country more than some petty things. That broad vision need to be given to people. Probably some such institution would be better, then the mics will not be broken and chairs will not be broken in the assemblies as it normally happens.
How did you conceptualize the idea of Art of Living Foundation and what were the difficulties which you faced in the initial phases when you started your organization?
If we go into it, it will be a very lengthy process. It is an uphill task in the beginning because in the world, Indian spiritual teachers have not been looked up very high, to tell you, with whatever reason of the past or whatever it is. So the reputation was not very good. And then there was always a doubt about anything that is Indian to be seen as a cult, which is not the case with established religious groups in the world, including this country. If it comes from any established traditional old religions, then to some extent people accept it or even put it in a box. So there was always a suspicion and thing, maybe cult, maybe it's no good, maybe it's a money making thing, maybe so many type of apprehensions people might have had. And often the journalists are in that fashion of all the time calling anybody from India as God-man in a derogatory word. You see any yogi, any Swami, a saint, will always been categorized God-man, as though rest are from Satan. But, when people realize the value of our knowledge, how useful it is and how beneficial it is, then word of mouth, it spread and people recognized, it's not that everything from India or from the Hindu Vedantic tradition or Hindu tradition is not bad, sort of, group. That thing started happening. It took some time for people world over to accept it. Other than that, nothing much. No difficulty.
Today, in this point in time, why there's so much of natural calamities? Tsunami, fires in Australia, snow in Dubai, floods in California. And why is always the poor people affected? In the Bible it says that when the time is come, the people have to repent. The water will come out of the sea, and all things which are happening now, as in today's time. How do you see this? Why is it happening?
Instead of pondering on why it is happening, we can only say, what can we do about it? Natural calamity or man-made calamities, both happens in the world. Why there was war in Croatia, in Kosovo, people are still suffering from the war in Croatia, in Kosovo, in Serbia. Last week, an elderly woman from Serbia says, she's crying, says, could you please save people in Serbia? There's so much suffering now. So many years after the war, still traumatized people there. Iraq, what do you say about that? Children, women, suffering. So on one side there's a natural calamity, another side man-made calamities. We need to respect environment and we need to respect human values. These are the two things we can do, maybe to minimize the natural calamity and to minimize the human created disasters. You have to emphasize an authority when there is no commitment in the people. If there is commitment, there is no need to emphasize the discipline. And when you love something, you naturally do it. If you see in our ashrams, when the people are working, I have to sometimes go and stop them. I say, you stop, you go and rest, you go and do things. Because nobody is telling them to go and work. But they take a commitment, I want to finish this. And they go day and night, finish that job. So the greatest motivating factor is one's own commitment. When this is lacking, then you have to put discipline. Sometimes when there is too much love also, it doesn't